you know, it's human nature to, when you get a critique of your performance, to be like, well, no, I did that right. You know, in your mind, at least. You never say that out loud, but man, I think it's a really fine line, because at the end of the day, even back then, I did kind of have the feeling that, like, well, if they're giving me notes, they're not firing me. You know, the fact that they're giving you notes means they want you to come back, because if they didn't want you to come back, they would just be like, all right, yeah, have a good night. You know, won't see you next time. Have a good night. Right. So, but if they're giving you their time at the end of the show to say, hey, can we talk about the feel of number 13? Like, it's just not quite feeling right. Can you try something different next time? Can you just listen to the recording again, or like anything like that? Even if, like, you think you did the right thing, there's no way to know unless you recorded yourself. So I did record myself a couple times playing the show when I was getting a lot of notes, and most of the time I agreed with the note. You know, it's amazing what recording yourself will do. You're like, oh yeah, so this is what I'm subjecting other people to. If they're giving you notes, they want it to sound a particular way, and you're not currently giving them enough to make it sound the way they need it to sound. So if you can remove your ego from that equation and just say, okay, yeah, like what can I change? Sometimes, honestly, it's not a question you need to ask the music director. What do you need me to change? You know what I mean? Because they're telling you, and they hope that you can figure it out. And I mean, sometimes it depends on the relationship you have with the conductor, but man, the last thing some conductors want to hear is like, well, can you help me? It's like, no, man, you got to go learn it. You got to figure out what I'm talking about. But that's a fine line. You know, you have to know what battles you can fight and what ones you can't fight. But I feel like at the end of the day, we are all on the same team. Like, we want the show to sound as good as possible. We want our performances to be as good as possible. And I just try to think about them. They're giving me the note because they want to help. You know, they want me to sound better. I want them to have what they need. I want to keep coming back here, you know? So I gotta give you whatever you need. So how do I do that? And maybe it's, I ask myself, maybe I can ask you some sort of clarifying question, but most of the time I just got to get my shit together.
Well, clearly you're giving people what they need, because you went on to sub at Wicked, Moulin Rouge, Dear Evan Hansen, and
Mm-hmm.
you went on to sub. Did you sub for Sean at the Book of Mormon?
Mm-hmm. And at Frozen.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Did Mean Girls too. I think that was in there. A couple other ones. I did Amelie for Epcar twice before it closed. I did Bandstand a couple times for Adam Wolf.
Yes.
Tootsie before that closed. The Cher Show was in there. And I'm forgetting a couple others. But that sounds right. That sounds about it.
Wow. That's a long list.